Yo, what's up? So this is gonna be a bit of a different video. I thought I would take my old work and kind of like reflect on my progress into 3D art, specifically character art. Now, I started doing character art in 2016, and when I say character art, I mean the entire sculpting, retopology, baking workflow. Like before that, I had had like some experience with just polygon modeling, as it got introduced to me through my university course, but I eventually dropped out because I just wasn't getting what I wanted. So I couldn't find any of that work, and I'm here starting from 2017 because I remember doing some of that work and it was on like my old toaster laptop, and that laptop is just kind of out of commission right now. So a lot of the work is from 2017 when I bought my first PC from a friend. So I'm just gonna start there and yeah, see what happens. But anyway, in 2017 I already had like an understanding of the entire character art workflow. But as you can see, if you look at this, like there's a lot wrong with this, like from proportions to texturing to how it's even retoppled. Like if you look around the arms, if the face looks wrong, like everything is just off. Like this feels like what happens when you open a texturing app, specifically PBR, of course, and then you just, you know, toss materials and let them do the rest instead of like telling a story. So this is what we have, and even the finer detail here is just like, this is a mess, bro. Like this detail is not fine at all. It's just, look at that. Retopology is not bad though. This is definitely not bad, but then again, there is no right or wrong for retopology. But this is not bad. At this juncture, like I had a interest in like just creating Dragon Ball Z characters in 3D, or like kind of redesigning them, because this was at the point where I started seeing a lot of like Dragon Ball Z 3D art. But as you can tell, like my fundamentals are just awful, right? The anatomy is, it's there, but it's not good. Like, you know, you see remnants of something that should be there, but it just doesn't read well. And I think this is even like a re-render because I couldn't find the original of this Frieza. But yeah, even with this Super Buu, right? Like you can tell that, yeah, the muscle, like it's there, you see it, you understand it, but there's just something off. Like in this case, its form, it's not understanding like fat percentage, fat distribution. I'm even looking like the alphas, right? Like they are not subtle at all. Like now this is like a case of just like tossing alphas on a 3D model and just hoping for the best because you're detailing it. Like quote unquote was up there. But yeah, like the rendering is not too bad. There's life in the eyes. Even the teeth are decent. The smile, you can tell this is like a bit ambitious because I was actually integrating like facial expressions. This is still 2017, by the way, and I'm integrating facial expressions to kind of like capture the character. But again, because the fundamentals are bad, like everything is just off. Like it's in the valley of the suck, you know. And then Piccolo, same. Like I'm looking at this, it's like, okay, the textures are not too bad because this was also like run around the time where I was just like sculpting and rendering in Photoshop, right? and where you just like overlay textures, like grunge textures, and just like try and concept something quick. Like, just looking at this, the textures are not bad, but there's a lot wrong here. Like, for one, I'm looking at the eyes, and then again I have the same alpha problem or like detail problem. The lips are wrong. Like, I can, like, let me not say it wrong. The lips are off, especially the bottom lips, and with the line at the bottom that just like shapes the bottom lip, it's off. There's not enough subsurface scattering, or I didn't capture that. Even the foam around the antennas is just off, and this is exactly why I'm doing this, because now I have like a really trained eye and I can see everything that's just offish. And then continuing with like just learning how to, not learning, was just doing concept sculpting, right? Or trying to be a concept sculptor. And I'd fallen off like the real time train here, because I was like, again, I started seeing a lot of like concept sculpts where it's just like, hey, sculpt this, toss it in Photoshop, make it look cool, you know, and then throw it on the portfolio, and you're just like trying to spam work on the portfolio, which is never a good thing. Don't do that. Don't let me find you doing that. And you weren't like really curating your portfolio. Like, you can see, like, again, like you can see like remnants of something that wants to be good, but the fundamentals are missing. Like, the anatomy is pretty decent. Like, it stands out, but then again, the detail is bad. The skull area, like where the skull connects with like the rope, like there's no weight here. Like, this feels like it's floating, right? What else? Even around the bandages should not have any type of specularity. They should be very rough. Face is quite decent, but then again, it's a detail thing. And again, around the eyes, you can tell that like you understand the shape, you just don't understand how everything connects, because this reads a little bit like blobbish, like unpolished, I want to say. Yeah, like the shape is there, but it doesn't stand out. So, just one of those cases. Go to 2018, in early 2018. Okay, still caught in the concept sculpting phase, and this was Speed Sculpt, inspired by Brian Wanya. Like, I haven't seen his work in a while actually, but he used to inspire me a lot because of how quickly he would speed sculpt and just like get like really good creature designs at like a rapid rate, and they would be like so appealing too. Like, he had a very distinctive style to it. So like, I'd try and like imitate his work. Still the same story here. Just trying to creature sculpt. Following the workflow of, hey, sculpt this, toss this in Photoshop, and overlay some textures. Like, you can even see, like these like scars or damages or like scuffs, like they're not refined. Like, they're just not subtle at all. Like, you know, less is more, and this is kind of like, hey, look at me on the armor, someone hit me. Even the textures around the rocks, I could have painted the peach fuzz or like the little hairs around this a bit better. The brush strokes are really thick. Again, subtlety, you know, bad alpha work, just plastering alphas all over and expecting it to, hey, this is detail. Here, I never like attempted mechs before. So, and I think this was like a QBrush tutorial I had bought, where I followed along with a guy who I forgot his name. My bad. But he was concept sculpting mechs just using clay or clay buildup, trim dynamic, and H polish. And I tried to venture into something new, which was like trying to sculpt or concept mechs. So, and this is honestly not bad at all for something that was quote unquote quick. Just look at this. Like, this is like an organic mech. I think it's just like a lot of readability around the pelvic area, the forearm area, even the deformation around the neck. I don't even know how that would work, but I suppose that's what happens when you rule of cool and you're just like stuck in that mentality without really thinking about like practicality, functionality, and just what do you call them, fundamentals. And by this time, like, I had gotten decent enough to start getting a lot of like character art gigs on Fiverr, and I'd forgotten that this guy used to contact me a lot to like create these like low poly characters. And for the most part, like, if there's one thing I would say is I think I grasped polygon modeling and retopology really quickly, and I was really bad at like sculpting. Let me not say bad, but like I was really subpar, like a good 3 out of 10, 4 out of 10 at this period. So I was kind of like spamming sculpting, but I was also still doing sculpting the wrong way because I wanted to do an entire character every time, and that's not the fastest way to learn. So yeah, it was just decent enough to get work, start making a little bread. This was like a year and a half in, almost 2 years, and it was kind of like motivation to keep going. And because I was living with my grandmother, so like there was also a pressure to like get a job. But once the money started coming in, like the pressure was off, right? It was easier to contribute around the house. And yeah, like, see, again, like, I'm not mad at this modeling. Like, this is actually, like, I think what I could have done a bit better right now I know more, is the detailing around the knee and around the ankle area, and then maybe add like a loop around the shoulder area, but cap it right there. So it would be something like, can I draw here? Edit. Oh, is it a marker? It is a marker. So something like this. So yeah, something like this, right? So if it deforms that way, this can collapse and then this can expand. The same with like the knee area. But for the most part, like, I'm not mad at this. This is like a really good 6, 7 out of 10. And to be fair, like, this was for like mobile games, or like a mobile game. Again, I need to find out what that game is. But the low poly does a lot of the heavy lifting. And yeah, not bad. I've done better. optimize the face a bit more. What I mean, they didn't have a problem with it, so you know. What else? Yeah. This is it. Like, for where my standard is right now, I'm actually still quite pleased with this. I don't mind this. This is late 2018. Now, in my personal time, I'm like back continuing the mech work, or like trying to just concept sculpt mechs, just using a clay brush, clay buildup, and yes, the clay buildup, trim dynamic, and H polish. And yeah, I'm actually not mad at this as well, because now you can see that I'm starting to think a bit more practically design wise. And this was like work inspired by Luca Nimelato, who was also a concept artist, concept designer, concept sculptor for, like, you know, the film and television industry. But for the most part, like, I'm actually happy with this because there is some practical thinking on how this would work. Like around, you know, the shoulder area, the forearm area, the wrist area, pelvic area. Like, I'm not mad at this. Like, I'd actually like to redo this with what I know now. Even the rendering is not bad. The background, then I'm not gonna focus on the background because, again, you know, character art. So this was just like to make the design stand out. But yeah. And then I think this one was I was trying to redesign, what do you call it, the ED209 from RoboCop, but like, I liked 2014 RoboCop with Joel Kinnaman, so I tried to capture the 1989 aesthetic in that RoboCop, in the 2014 RoboCop, right? But like, just bring that aesthetic into the future. And I'd also gotten access to like a kit bashing kit, and like, it's pretty visible now actually. Like, it's pretty clear that a lot of it is kit bashing, and then there are a few parts that I like sculpted, but a lot of it like was kit bashing. I'm not too mad at the rendering. It could be better because, like, material definition, right, and material clarity, as this is what's more shiny, this is what's more rough, this is a bit more damaged, this should be more dirty, and all of that, right? Even the emissiveness of the lights, like, there's just something off. Like, if it's emissive, like, I don't think there should be this much sheen to the lights. But for the most part, I'm not mad at this. It feels like it's floating. The shadow is still there, solid attempt, and yeah, none of the few works I'm not mad at. And then yeah, this was like the clay render for the mech suit. Again, you can see that there's like thought behind the design, so I'm not mad at it. But yeah, and here I think this is where, like, just trying to concept superhero costume starts. And hey, Lanterns is out, but I think I started from a base mesh because there's no way my anatomy was this good at this point. I think it was Tom Newberry had like a free base mesh, so I would use that a lot to practice a lot of things, and I couldn't find most of them. And this is not a bad attempt. What is bad though, like, going back to subtlety, right? Like, and being subtle and telling story within the subtlety, because the green areas feel a bit too thick. It's like, hey, I want you to see there's like this is like a breakaway point, or like a different layer to the suit. Like, I couldn't tell it through I couldn't tell it through maybe painting, the materials, and all of that. Like, this is just straight extraction, and you can tell that maybe he got a bit excited by the poly loops, so he just discovered poly loops, so he just like added them everywhere. But oof, yeah, no, even with the fiber mesh, it's not well groomed. What else? Oh, still this one. This one was a bit I mean, thinking of like how Jon Stewart constructs his constructs, I suppose. Thinking like army like, and he has like a helmet with like muffs, you know, to block out sound and all of that. Is just like, okay, it looks cool, but you know, what kind of purpose is it serving? Again, you know, it is a Green Lantern construct, so it doesn't need to make sense, I suppose. It just looked cool, but it also played into Jon's, you know, constructs. 2019. And then 2019, I think this, I'd been doing all of that for like a really good while, but this is where I get my first job in the animation industry as a character modeler. But I think this was after the job. I gotten the job as a character modeler, but also didn't want to let go of like just being creative and like, you know, concept sculpting, you know, costumes and creatures and whatnot, because the sad thing about a job is that like you get happy about having a job and you're doing something you love, but ultimately it will always be a job once it starts being repetitive. So I think at this point, this was like 2 months after my job. I think I'd gotten the job in March. I don't know, somewhere in 2019 I did this. It's just like a nice way to kind of relax my brain. I'd also seen Captain Marvel. What the hell's going on here? I like the silhouette. I like the idea. I'm just not sure about the anatomy now, especially around like the chest area and the ab area. And again, coming back to subtlety, like the detailing is very much in your face, and with the horns, it's just kind of like, what the hell is going on? I don't even know how I detailed those. I think it was like a brush or something. I didn't take much consideration into detailing the horns, but I like the idea of this being a leech. But how the mouth area connects to the body, I think I would redo that now. Yeah, keep it moving. Okay, clay render. I think it's even more evident with the clay render, especially the anatomy. It's like, it's pretty decent, right? Like, this thing is fucking beefy as hell. Design wise, I'd actually make it a lot more skinnier now, because if it's a leech, it shouldn't be this big. Oof, the anatomy is atrocious. Okay, you can see that, okay, I definitely have some understanding, because the pec area still connects to like the bicep, or the, what do you call it, the femur. It connects underneath the shoulder, so that's a good thing. But whatever's happening on the pec area is kind of, oof. Yeah, no. Even the abs, ooh. Ceratus. Ooh, yeah, no. But we live and learn. Same. I think the rendering here stands out a lot because, again, understanding material definition, what should stand out, what shouldn't. Look, a roughness. Like, okay, yeah, I have the correct idea with the roughness around the teeth, but these teeth read more metallic than, wet. And then even on the entire body, like the entire body just reads as wet, whereas probably the mouth area would have the most wetness because of like the blood, or maybe you could have it a bit more dry because blood dries very quickly. And then even around the horns, like consistency of like the roughness on the body is kind of like the roughness is kind of plastered. It's kind of like universal, it's not controlled as to what should be rough and what shouldn't. Oh, okay, back in my mech era. This was mostly sculpted, but also I discovered like another kit bashing brush. So here, right about there, and there, and then everything else sculpted. But again, this is very practical. Okay. I'm not mad at this design. A different render. Like even just like thinking on thinking of how this would move. Like just right there. Like the wrist would hinge, it can twist. Right there. Right there. Hinge. This is pretty solid actually. Like I'm still happy with it even in 2026. And then I suspect this is where my portrait era starts. And this is, I want to say it's like the slow transition into fundamentals. And I know it's pretty late, doing fundamentals so deep into the 3D art career. But even if you like look at the previous work, you can tell that again everything is there, but you just don't understand what's underneath, And this is where I started going back and started actually doing the fundamentals, because again, creature art won't save your work. Like stylized won't save your work if you don't understand the fundamentals and how to break them. So I think at this point, this is where the turnaround slowly starts happening. But we'll cover that later. And yeah, looking at this, the jawline is too aggressive. Yeah, it's definitely like I had been given feedback. Oh no, I was giving myself feedback here. Yes, I was giving myself feedback. The jawline was too aggressive. I actually see it now. The eyes, they're there, but I could push them a bit more. They're not exactly the same eyes. Same, but different. Even the side profile is just kind of oof. The cheekbones say emaciated, like there's not enough fat on the face, because you can still have cheekbones pronounced even if you have like a nice amount of fat on the face. Hey Tesla, don't mind that. Detailing, bad fiber mesh usage, but hey, we learned. And even here, like I don't understand you can tell that I don't understand. I still don't understand like the lip area, the bottom lip, and how to kind of make that pronounced. The detailing on the face is just kind of like plastering of like alphas. Oh, this is not bad. It could be rendered better now, but it's not bad. I think what stands out the most is the neck area. Could have been handled a bit differently or better, because if this is suggesting that this is a fatty area, then this shouldn't be so prominent, right? But for the most part, I'm actually happy about the anatomy. Maybe a bit more subtlety around the brachialis. Yeah, for the most part, this is not too bad. Right. Maybe there could have been like a bit more fat, around the muscles. You know, again, subtlety. Like that's one thing I had to learn, subtlety. Just let the sculpt tell the story. But for the most part, even the eyes have a bit of life, even though they're black. The horns could be textured better, and there's just something off about the lighting. I can't explain it. I want to say there's definitely something off about the lighting, or maybe the lighting could be a bit more dramatic. But this is not bad. I think this is more rendering work and just pushing a bit more of the sculpting. Oh, at this point, the company that I was working with in 2018 like got back to me like wanting to do more characters. So, you know, this is easy peasy, same story, you know, make some money, not mad at this. I think this was one of my favorite characters to work on with during my time with the company. But yeah. Ooh, this is okay. This is very interesting. I think this is something I would love to redo. Like the idea is there, it's solid, you can tell, kind of like that a Wukong inspiration. It is actually Wukong. Yeah, okay, some Wukong right there. What I can do better is rendering the beard. Like it could have been painted a bit more, but show some love to the eyes, the black area, make the eyes a bit more lubricated, wet. Get your mind out of the gutter. And we're back in Mechland. I sculpted most of it, but then you can tell Kit Bash here, Kit Bash here, Kit Bash here. And again, subtlety, because you can tell I fell back into bad habits, because if I'm looking at this now, it like reads as heavy, and Cyclops should not be wearing something that feels heavy on the head. Like it's all this like thickness of the visor, like it feels very, very heavy. And then this was a project I worked on with a friend. Well, I took a drone he had modeled, and then this was a combination of me wanting to, hey, I'm sculpting creatures and aliens, but then I wanna integrate like mech work or like armors and whatnot. Look at that. Oof, the UVs right there. The like subtle tells. UVs right there. Even the fabric is not. It reads like rubber instead of like, you know, some kind of like tactile Kevlar, whatever. It reads like rubber. So like understanding materials. Yeah. But bro, Same here. I took his drones and his rifle, and this is around at the time I also started experimenting with Marvelous Designer, tried to concept a helmet, and was just like trying to create a keyframe image. Oof. What was this for? I think I sculpted this for YouTube. Yeah. I like the rendering. I definitely like the rendering. Yeah, you can tell there's like understanding of light. There's rim light, like something from this angle is like, under has that color. Maybe it's like those signs there, but then how strong is that the intensity of the light? It's also a question. Around the lip area, bottom lip, like I'm a bottom jaw. Like I'm not too sure, but you can also tell that like this is like inspired by like a snake in the future, and like Dragon Ball Z. Okay, into the second half of 2019. What was that show again? Like I think this sculpt was based on that. I think was it Evil or something like that, right? But actually not mad at this as well because it shows like a solid understanding of form, subtlety, and some transitions. Some things could be smoothed out a bit to like have lumpiness and definition, but for the most part, this is not too bad for sculpt. And then I started practicing more stylized work because I was actually working on a stylized movie. And I'd never like done that seriously and done it to a point where like it was like really polished and clean. So I started doing more of that, and I think this was for YouTube. Run about the time I started I wanted to start a YouTube channel. Did this for YouTube, I did. And then because I was working on a movie, I'd also take the time to do subdivision modeling as practice because I came from like game art. So my fundamental understandings of like holding edges, end poles, e poles, when to use them, what to use to detail what, was kind of like lacking. So I would do like these exercises to like strengthen my understanding for subdivision modeling. Same. I even modeled the car just because I could. And I actually like this is pretty good. Practicing more stylized work. I think this was a random sketch, but the intention was for this to be Gorilla Grodd. The people versus Gorilla Grodd. Waiting for that. Again, the car, like, ooh. Yeah, no, this holds up pretty well into this day. This is just like strong, like polygon subdivision modeling. No fancy sculpting, nothing. Just start from a cube and the knife tool. I think the only thing that bothers me, and I don't know if I should like show the mistake or not. I think, yeah, no, let me not show the mistake because it's gonna break the illusion. But I really love this. Like, I think these are like, or probably this one. This one is one of the few projects that will be on my portfolio until I die because I think it stands the test of time. Practicing more stylized work at this point. I was like also really spamming stylized work to get really good at it because I wanted to keep my job. But this was from a concept by an artist called Deoxy Diamond that I had found on ArtStation. I'll also link the portfolio below. And then this was Mark Brunet's The Mechanic. Yeah, I took that concept and then just built on it. And for the most part, like this feels very rushed. In retrospect, this feels very rushed because the distribution of like polygons here, you know, compared to the leg, even here, right? This is bad. This is zero. I zero meshed this. 10. The face is a bit of a miss. It could be optimized a bit more. The hair could be optimized a bit more, and then the strap for the goggles could be shown a bit more love. Maybe like adding one loop to like coincide with the loop from the goggle area, just like that. Even topology, man, topology. Maybe a loop that starts here. The triangle starts there. But anyway, let me not get lost in the source. Yeah, it's not bad. Texturing is not bad, but the lighting. This is where I started like overlaying map channels into the ambient occlusion, just kind of like fake light before texturing it. And I think I used the wrong channel here, because around the waist it should not look like this. This looks very raw. The light looks inverted, or if it's coming from like it's like top down lighting, right? There shouldn't be like shadows there, like, and if there is, like, they should be like very subtle, like creases. But maybe I'm overthinking it. The bottom area is definitely not bad. It could be polished a bit more, but like it's a really strong starting point, even with the jacket. And I think at this point you can, like, I think now you can tell that maybe there's a bit more understanding in material definition and actually texturing with a story, and not just plastering materials all over the model. Yeah, try to make it an NPR model here. Yes. And again, this is part of the spamming of stylized work, and this is also by Deoxy Diamond. And I concepted this at the end of the year. This was like Spider-Man's web shooter. I don't know what came to my mind doing this, but I just, felt like doing it. Or maybe I was inspired by this as like the web shooter thing, and you like press this and then pow pow pow, and then this is like a cartridge that would eject this, and then more ammo kind of thing. Let's go into 2020. At this point, my contract was over, so I spent a lot of time trying to find work and rebuilding my portfolio. So I created this dark side. Like I actually think I started with this dark side, if I'm not mistaken, trying to recreate something with like my new sculpting understanding that I was kind of like moving into, because you can see like now I understand the planar changes around the eyes a bit. Okay, maybe the detailing and the brushwork feels a bit heavy-handed with the creases for the crow's feet. Even around the lips, I'm not too mad about the lips. It could be smoothed a bit. Even the entire face could be smoothed a bit, and then just detailed a bit better. But yeah, and then I started doing more real-time work again and so a bit more lore. Like in 2018, I got lost in the source of playing League of Legends, and I really loved playing Jing. So I tried to create a game res model of fish bones, and then here's a game res model, and then you can tell it's a bit stronger than the previous work, because even like the little scratches are a bit more subtle, and they feel like they flow with the weapon a bit better. But then around this belt area, it feels like this was also a bit rushed, because this feels like a plastered material. There's no edge definition. Even the model here, like this little buckle does not have weighted normals. Yeah, you can even see like the gold is rendering a bit weird right there. The gold is rendering a bit weird there as well. Yeah, something's wrong, but anyway, we're past that point. And then at this point, you can tell like the understanding of anatomy is slowly coming in, because I think this is a bit, it's okay. It's yeah, solid. It's pushing a 7. Floating, but this was like a really cool concept sculpt, and then another concept sculpt, and I think this was like a soft reboot, like inspired by that character runt I did back in 2018, but like with just better fundamental understanding. Because if you look at the anatomy now, like this is pretty good. It reads pretty well actually. Like you can tell the delt, like this tertiary head could flow a bit better into the bicep right there, but like hey, ooh, yeah, even the foam around the foam around the elbows. I think the only thing that like breaks this piece is just the metal and how it was kind of textured or detailed, because it feels like, what do you call them? The surface normal? No, it's not surface normal. The surface detail in ZBrush is just kind of like, hey, I added that. I'm dead. Right there, gravity. It's going against gravity. Not going straight down. It's not going straight down. This one has a pause. Could be swinging. But anyway, this is not going straight down. And then again, just like sculpting random creatures. I don't even know what this is inspired by. So it kind of looks very foreign, and it's hard to ground it in something. But the form is like, and you can tell like this is just like, pure sculpting right now. You're just like sculpting with the brush, you're getting lost in the source, and you're just like building form and taking away form, right? Like the form reads pretty well, but you just don't know what it's inspired by or what it's grounded by. Wolverine. Anyway, I'm gonna keep it moving. Now I'm getting comfortable like sculpting in poses. Like, okay, we've got the anatomy, or you understand the anatomy, but now try and sculpt something in pose, right? And do it confidently so. And then, well, try and design a costume. See, this is like, it feels like a mess because you don't know what you're trying to do or learn. But maybe I think I just might have been just trying to sculpt something really cool. But hey. Late 2020. At this point, I started freelancing for a company. Okay. And here I like asked, there was this guy, shout out to Ruan, and I asked him for feedback on how to improve my anatomy a bit more, because he was a working professional who was actually working on like a few VFX movies or movies in VFX. But again, this is where Like, remember earlier I had spoken about like just portrait work and getting back into fundamentals of characters, and I think this is also where the trigger for like anatomy sculpting and obsession starts. And we have this. There's definitely understanding, even around the serratus areas. Like, okay, understand it doesn't have to be like super defined. This is probably like 15% body fat. Understand where the pecs connect, so obviously they're gonna flare, and then the cobra hood of the lats is gonna open up. I think the neck area though, especially where like the muscles connect around the clavicle. Oof. Back area, a bit too thick. Like, I think the consistency of like the fat percentage is not the same as the front. Yeah. Ooh. Especially around the tricep area and the belt area. But it's a good attempt. Like, the side profile though is very strong. I like this. You can understand where, okay, it's the lap area. But split the serratus and the lat a bit more, because it feels like they're melting into each other. And yeah, the obsession with anatomy continues, but now it's just like sculpting freely without getting attached to your work. And I try to add like a new layer here with like veins, but then I feel like I overdid it. But now at least I understand like the connection, like how the deltoid connects to the bicep region, like the head. First head, second head, so right there. 3D shoulders, they read pretty well. Even how the chest contracts, like, I like that. The striations around the chest. And then more concept artwork, and this is, I got back into like playing around with Marvelous Designer, and I think I bought a tutorial by Travis Davids on like creating a jacket in Marvelous Designer, so I followed that. And then once I got the jacket, I was like, well, I might as well add clothing and then try and create like a character around it, because I'm not just gonna create a jacket. And more alien and mech combinations. And again, the fabric is very rubbery. At least it's a bit less thick now, but still, it feels like it would hinder movement if she had to like bend her arm. And then right here, back to like some creature sculpting, but you can tell there's a bit more integration of like the understanding of anatomy. And then same here. I'm not mad at this. It could be more dramatic, but then again, I feel like I'm nitpicking my work now. I'll just keep it moving. Oh, this was like a concepting phase in Photoshop for this. And then more anatomy sculpting, and this was like, this I vividly remember was trying to get better at like proportions in general. So I took like a gorilla and then just started from like a human base mesh, and then molded those forms into like a gorilla proportions, and then sculpted the anatomy. And this is one like the few sculpts I'm really proud of. Like even like just form wise, like the form reads really well, and I didn't have to like do a lot of like defining the muscle with like damn standard or something. It's just like pure adding and taking away form, adding and taking away form, and the brush leaves such a nice texture to it as well. Doesn't feel like super smooth. It's 2021. Ooh, too much. I'm gonna start speeding through this again. Sketches, anatomy sketches, feeling a bit comfortable with anatomy, understanding what connects where, insertions, and all of that. Back, I think, yeah, we're getting back into the portrait phase. But now I have a better understanding. This is still very mid-ish. Like the face feels very smooth. Like it doesn't have like definition. But then you could also say that like this reads as a very young man. But then around the eyes, it's just like there's no wrinkles. Like this feels too smooth. Yeah, even around like the temple area. More portraits. I think this was inspired by Condola Rashad. I used to love the show Billions, and I thought she was just fine as hell. So I thought I'd like, do something inspired by her. And you can tell the lips. The lips are like a dead giveaway. Anatomy. Like I think at this point, even this is where like they're like points in like an artist's career where like a certain concept clicks, and this is where just human anatomy clicked for me. Like it's like, oh, balancing fat, knowing where something connects, how to be subtle. Like posing as well. Like this is contrapuntal. Like the posting is like the pose is a bit, dramatic. It's a bit tilted, and I wasn't like at this point I wasn't attached to my work, and ironically, this is what made it like really, elevate. Like not getting attached to what I had created and not being afraid to take away or add. But at this point, like I just like. These are also one of the other few sculpts I'm really proud of. Just, it reads pretty well. Holy shit. Okay, this is really good. Like, you can tell that, like, the trap muscles are there, right? But then I still blended it in with a brush. So, as to indicate, like, fat or skin. Same here. Like, I actually started from this model, and then just broke it with Dynamesh, and then beat it into position, and then just like started sculpting and just not being afraid to break it. Like you think of it as like traditional clay, where you just like take away form and build in form, and then break it, and then mold it again. You just do that and don't get lost in the source of your own work. Because I guarantee you, your first draft is not good. Anatomy, again, there's like some sort of understanding that's happening now. Even with like the definitions, right? It's no longer the damn standard again. It's just like cutting in with like the clay brush or the clay buildup brush, and then just like sculpting to kind of like blend in the cuts. And then sculpting in pose. See, like actually, most of these have one common thing: sculpting in pose and asymmetrically, and just not being afraid. And then you're sculpting with the knowledge of how muscle works, like how it stretches and how it contracts, right? And and how it contracts. It's pretty solid actually. Dynamic as hell. the form and the silhouette. You can tell the S curves are there. Like pretty strong posing. Like it definitely reads as dynamic. Then late 2021. And then getting back into real-time work. And at this point, like I realized I'd never like done any real-time hair. So my first attempt were like dreads. And I started learning how to create real-time hair because of my job. And it kind of demanded I learned how to create like black hair grooves. So I started with dreads, and this is what I got. And I started from that sculpt, obviously. It's pretty obvious, but more hair, skin, and this, I think, at this point, this is where my tech art journey really begins, because this is where I start getting obsessed with like really rendering and bringing black characters to life. The textures are decent, but the details could be better. Oof. Either I baked them too low, or the alpha detailing on the sculpt wasn't as crisp. But we move. Same texturing. Lips could have one more level of like skin color, or like texturing, or just to bring them, just bringing more life into them, or like plump them up. This is not bad. And again, just like sculpting into pose, not being afraid, working with understanding. Samesies. The only thing I did here was just like rotate the head, because I wasn't gonna sculpt the face asymmetrically. Detailing is a bit better. Again, this is where like I start learning how to try and like render faces or skin in Unreal Engine, and you can tell that it's just like, whoa, where's the subsurface scattering, my G? The pores could be a bit more subtle. This is also where you learn how to UV a bit, cleanly, because you're trying to like, you might be trying to UV in such a way that you use the UV the best you can, or the UV space the best you can, but also you can be smart about it in a way you like split it and whatnot. This was like a fun side project, because I think I like started rewatching Power Rangers on YouTube, but the original Power Rangers, so I like did some fan art, and then rendered and painted in Photoshop. Same Green Ranger, the goat, Tommy, rendered and painted in Photoshop. Same here, just like a fun sculpt. It's not bad. I think this is Mason Verger. Like I was also watching Hannibal, the show Hannibal, and yeah, Cordell, rendered and painted in Photoshop, and then I hadn't done a creature in a while. This is like an Oni demon, I think, but you can tell that like the anatomical understanding is carrying through now a bit better. Oh, another Oni demon. Okay. Right here, it's like really strong understanding of design. Let me rather say it's like it gets really good because there's a lot of flow happening all around. And this was just like a sketch, like, but everything is flowing. Like it's like, hey, flowing to that, flowing like that, flowing like that, flowing like that. Like there's a really good amount of flow. like directing you to this area. And then Thanos. I think this Thanos. So in 2019, I had started sculpting a Thanos during my lunch breaks at work, but I never really finished it. So I think I went back and then tried to redo that with what I knew then, and this was the result. Like, again, yeah, anatomy is pretty strong. You know, understanding of secondary, tertiary is stronger here. Yeah, I'm not mad at this, bro. Even the rendering is, the clay render is just clean. And then yeah, again, like the strong fundamentals of like, you know, anatomy are carrying through into the creature design. But then this is, you know, like this is an all-around clean sculpt, but mid design. Strong anatomy. In 2022, I've got nothing much to show. I think at this point I'd gotten a bit comfortable because I had started my full-time job. I was actually working full-time and also learned the value of rest and just like learning to slow down. So the entire year, like I think the only thing I had done was just like these, you know, facial expressions from one model. We have video. But yeah, in 2022, I was just like living my best life, going out, you know, eating out, enjoying life. And then in 2023, I decided to lock in and get back into it and get better at tech art, but integrating my character modeling into it. Like a lot of the work I'm going to show now is more character focused than tech art related, because the video is not about tech art. But yeah, again, sculpting at this point is just like it had improved a lot. You can tell the character in the face. Even detailing with the alphas is just like, it's very fine and crisp, you know, subtle. The rendering, and again, like I think with the textures and rendering, this was also like a really big turning point for me, because I had started like understanding shaders and just getting deeper into you know, understanding how the GPU works, light physics and all of that, and how to like just understanding what was happening on my screen, like, you know, tech art fundamentals. And I think that elevated my work, my character art a bit. In here, same here. This was inspired, like this rendering shot, or, you know, angle, whatever you want to call it, was inspired by the Callisto Protocol, because I think by this time it was out, right? And they were like demonstrating all the work and shaders they had done for like the characters and how they rendered the skin. And then at this point, this again is more tech art focused, but like I sculpted another character with the intention of like developing a shader that could isolate regions that you wanted to iterate on with like different colors. So like that, right? If you wanted to have your lip area more red in the engine, you could use that. And again, this was inspired by the Callisto Protocol, and I actually reached out to, I think, Martin Contel, was it? Sorry if I'm butchering the name, but he was a tech art director on the Callisto Protocol, and I just asked him for advice, and he was happy to help in how like they approached everything. Thing, yeah. And this is what I mean. It's kind of like a look div shader, but using the character I had sculpted. So getting like different results just using mask regions when texturing a character. This is the only thing I did in 2024. And I did this because I started playing Cyberpunk 2077. And I was a big fan of the Voodoo Boys gang. So again, just taking everything I know with like my improved, understanding of like the technical art side and strong fundamentals of character art, and just like create something. Like just having a side project to stay sane from doing, someone else's work every day. But yeah, even again, detailing, I like this. And I think the biggest change between that Miles and this character is the subtlety of like detailing within the lips. The skin reads a bit softer too. I don't know if I improved my shader or improved my textures here, but I like how the skin reads more. Maybe it was just a bit more SSS. In render, final render, I had like animated reticles, but I didn't include them because they're also very tech art focused, and they were animated within the shader. 2025. That's a lot of work. 2025. Okay, this was at the start of 2025. Same story, just like having a side project to keep yourself sane. And this character was inspired by the mocks from Cyberpunk. Same, posed one. In engine render, alternate render, and then I wasn't sure whether I wanted to add like these runner glasses for the aesthetic and how iridescent they were. I just kind of liked that, and it kind of like captured that Mox color palette. But I didn't put too much effort into them, as you can tell. I just wanted to see how they would read without. And then towards the end of 2025, I actually started teaching myself how to clean a scan. Because at this point, I'd been in the industry for like 6 years, I think, and not once have I ever like worked with like a scan or like cleaned a scan. So I just like quickly watched the YouTube video on getting the basic workflow, and then just cleaned it. Downloaded Wrap 3D, and then took the MetaHuman base mesh. This was also like an opportunity to play with like MetaHumans, and then took the MetaHuman base mesh, wrapped it around the scan, and then imported that head wrap into a base MetaHuman I created. And surprisingly enough, like even with the randomized materials, it was like really super close to the reference actress I was using. And yeah, render. And 2026. Again, more technical work. So I'm just gonna like, share the character art side of it. But yeah, just trying to recreate like Miles Morales in the engine from Across the Spider-Verse, and then have like that little glitch effect that I created with like a post process. And here's the sculpt. Again, understanding of, like, at this point it feels like I'd hit a plateau when it came to character art. So hence just diving deeper into the technical art side. And yeah, full body. And then this was just like explaining the glitch and how I created it. But for the most part, that's it. That's been my my journey through 3D art. Like, I've been doing it for 10 years, but it didn't really click until the end of 2020, like where like all the pieces just like started flowing into place. And I think that started because I became less attached to my work and just like started focusing on just like doing things and being comfortable ditching them. Not everything you create is your best work, and that's how you're gonna learn. Like, just do something that you want to get good at, practice it. You know, it's kind of like when you're in the gym, you're doing reps. So just do those reps and then ditch everything. When you get to a point where you want to create one big piece, take all those learnings and then put them into that one big piece. That's me. Until the next time. Cheers.